What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns here, and as we say goodbye to 2014 and hello 2015, I thought we would go over the 8 DLCs that came out this year for Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, obviously, I'm not including the various hotfixes or the 2 DLCs from last year, which were Beach Bum and the Holiday DLC from 2013, and I'm not including the Capture Creator update back in April, even though it was really awesome. I really do like the Capture Creator update because I really do like making really crazy fun captures. I'm talking about the 8 DLCs. We're going to rank them from 8th place to 1st place, and I want to know below in the comment section one of two things. Either A, which DLC was your favorite, and B, how would you rank them? Either your top 3 or your top 5, or if you want to go all out, your top 8. Chime in below in the comment section, and without further ado, let's begin with number 8, the LTS update, which included the Führer GT sports car, the Innovation motorcycle, the Haikuchu motorcycle, the Marksman rifle, and the heavy shotgun. It also added the LTS creator, and of course 10 new LTS jobs, as well as 20 new parachute bags, 5 bulletproof helmets, 2 masks with various colors, all the various team outfits that give you kind of a combat or paint gun look, and of course the fingerless gloves. Now, there was also some additions to the mini-map or the map itself, including a plane, jet, and helicopter icons, which lets you know who was flying around in a helicopter or a plane or the laser fighter jet. So LTS update was an okay update, but the problem I had was with the Führer GT, the Innovation, and the Haikuchu. There was no customization in either of those vehicles. What I mean is no mods, like no exhaust, no spoilers, no skirts, no various roof or hood options for any of them. So you could go to Los Santos Customs and basically just do all the basic upgrades, engine, brakes, armor, and pick out a paint color you like, but that was it. Next, of course, the heavy shotgun was a decent weapon, not as good as the assault shotgun, and the Marksman rifle, though basically a semi-auto sniper, had an inferior scope on it, and the knockdown power on the Marksman rifle just wasn't as strong as the regular sniper. By the way, if you want a full review of most of these DLCs, I do have a DLC review playlist up on my gaming channel. As we move to number 7, the San Andreas Flight School, which was really focused on flying and planes and helicopters, which unfortunately is not something that the majority of the players and gamers of Grand Theft Auto Online enjoy. Now, there are some of us that do like flying and do like jets and do like planes and helicopters, but actually, surprisingly, a lot of people rather keep it to the ground with their supercars and sports cars. Now, what was included in the Flight School? The Besra, the Miljet, the Swift Helicopter, the Coquette Classic in both a hardtop and topless version. Flight School was included, which not only helped you improve your flying skills and stats, it also gave you some RP and money. So that's one of the big reasons why I like Flight School. Hopefully Rockstar will add more Flight School lessons, maybe the ones from story mode, to the online version of Flight School somewhere down the road. And of course, one thing I really do enjoy is all the new Versus missions that came with the Flight School, like Air Force Zero, Acquire Targets, and of course G Rating. All those are a lot of fun. Plus, there were 25 parachute bags, reserve parachute was added, 6 new parachute canopies, a flight suit, which was about, $50,000, and of course a flight cap. Unfortunately, those were the only 2 new wardrobe options that came with Flight School. There were also other jobs added as well, along with the coveted High Flyer parachute bag, which you could only get during the Flight School event weekend. Now, the reason why this is in number 7 is obvious, because a lot of people really don't care for flying or helicopters, planes, or jets. There weren't any new weapons, and of course, as I mentioned, the wardrobe options were very lacking. All you had to pick from was a Flight School suit and, of course, a flight cap. Now, in the Flight School trailer, they made us think that we were getting a whole bunch of stuff to come with the Flight School update, but obviously we did not. Moving on to number 6, the Independence Day DLC update, which was for, of course, July 4th, the holiday which commemorates the United States independence from Great Britain, thus starting the Revolutionary War back in the 1700s. And there was obviously a lot of pro-USA patriotic stuff, like the Western Sovereign motorcycle, which had the stars and stripes on it, the Liberator monster truck, which was the very first monster truck added to Grand Theft Auto Online. Of course, there were some weapons like the musket and, of course, the firework rocket launcher, which a lot of people enjoy using. There were 40 patriotic USA 4th of July themed clothing options, 17 new jobs, 7 new properties, and, of course, the mullet hairstyle for both male and female characters. And Rockstar, I think they added the tank icon to the Independence Day update as well. That way you knew who was driving around in a tank in free mode. Now, the reason why I put Independence at number 6, despite the fact that it had a lot of stuff to add, it obviously was, centered pro USA, 4th of July, Independence Day stuff. And that makes sense because, Los Santos is set in the United States, be it a fictional version of the United States. It was all going to be, red, white, and bluish. Now, the Western Sovereign, my issue with that was it had no customization features whatsoever. I have no problem with the Liberator monster truck being a Pegasus vehicle. It's just that, vehicles that you can put in your garage, I wholeheartedly believe Rockstar should go through the effort to add some different exhaust options and whatnot so that you can really customize your vehicles. And unfortunately, they did not do that with the Western Sovereign. And of course, this was a time-limited DLC, so everything that you failed to buy by the end of July went away forever. So you cannot get the Liberator monster truck or the Western Sovereign or the musket if you did not have the Independence Day DLC and if you did not purchase these items when they were available back in July. Number 5 on our list is the latest one, the Festive Surprise time-limited DLC, and I have really enjoyed the Festive Surprise DLC, which included several newish vehicles like the Jester race car, the Massacre race car, the Rat truck, the Slam van, 2 new weapons, the homing rocket launcher, the proximity mine, 5 new parachute bags, 30 tattoos, snow days, that's right, we had several snow days, and of course the ability to have snowball fights, which is really a lot of fun, free seasonal clothing and masks, the return of the firework rocket launcher just in time for Christmas and New Year's, the limited edition stocking mask the Rockstar gave out as a Christmas present for all the gamers on Grand Theft Auto Online, and finally the ability for us to now own up to 3 properties, which means up to 30 vehicles. I would have ranked the Festive Surprise time-limited DLC a little higher if it wasn't for a few minor issues. For one thing, the Slam van has no customization features, like I've mentioned before. I kind of have an issue with that. Plus, the so-called free seasonal clothing and masks are really awesome, but as with last year's holiday DLC, chances are Rockstar will eventually take all those free clothing options away from us. So I would have much rather had the ability to actually purchase and keep the masks and the clothing outfits that were part of the Festive Surprise DLC, then simply have them available to us for free till we decide to take all that stuff back. Moving on to number 4 on our list, the St. Valentines Day Massacre Time Limited DLC. Came out in February 2014, was a really awesome DLC, which included a really cool limited edition vehicle, the Sports Classic Roosevelt, which you could have up to 6 people on. Very 1920s, 30s look. I love that vehicle, one of my faves. And of course, the Gusenberg machine gun, aka the Tommy gun. A really cool machine gun that you could own back then. Both of those were limited edition and hopefully will be available once again somewhere down the road. Maybe a future Valentine's Day Massacre DLC coming out maybe February 2015, huh? Could happen. Maybe some additional 1920s, 30s vehicles and weapons. That would be really sweet. Just an idea, Rockstar. Anyways, a lot of other items as well, including vintage era clothing like suits, fedoras, various Valentine's masks, and flapper bob female hairstyle. There were 10 new jobs added. The blow kiss action, the Valentine's Day themed t-shirts. The rat loader was now purchasable in the San Andreas website. So, yeah, it was a really fun time-limited DLC, and it was the first DLC to come out in 2014. And I really do hope that Rockstar makes more DLCs that are themed around certain eras or decades. Like, for example, Valentine's Day Massacre was during the Prohibition era here in the States. And, of course, maybe something set in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, perhaps. That would be really cool. We have finally made it to the top 3 DLCs of 2014. And coming in third place, it is the Business Update, which included 4 vehicles, the Turismo Supercar, the Jester sports car, the Alpha sports car, and of course the sweet little Vestra private jet. There were also 2 new weapons that were added, the heavy pistol and of course the special carbine rifle. There was new clothing items as well, new hairstyles, tattoos, masks, and hard mode which added 1.5% bonus for Grand Theft Auto currency and RP earned in missions, and normal was up to 1.25% RP and money for missions. So that added a little bit more money to players' pockets when they chose to either do a mission on normal or hard, and Rockstar has continued to update the mission payouts over the past year. They now have it to where it is encouraged to take your time, because the way it used to be back in the day was people would just rush through Rooftop Rumble over and over and over and over again, and they were only doing it to make money and, of course, earn RP, rank up, instead of actually having fun with friends and crewmates. So Rockstar kind of made it to where you had to take your time on missions, and they also balanced out the payout where more missions equaled more money than they used to. So it made all the other missions a lot more appealing over the past year, since Rockstar has continued to work on and fine-tune the payouts for the RP and money for Grand Theft Auto Online. Number 2 on the list is the I'm Not a Hipster update. Now, this was a big surprise to most of us. There was some leaked information coming out hinting that we might get a Hipster DLC, but Rockstar just dropped it on us out of nowhere, and it was a nice big surprise back in June. We got 7, that's right, 7 new vehicles, which included the Pagali, the Blade, the Warner, the Glendale, the Rhapsody, the Panto, and of course the Dubsta 6x6. There was also 10 additional story mode vehicles that were made purchasable through the various websites, 2 new weapons, which were the Antique Cavalry Dagger and of course the Vintage Pistol, 12 brand new jobs, tons of fun hipster-like clothing and masks added, including 3 t-shirt gifts that came in when you logged in during the event weekend. On Friday you would get a t-shirt, then Saturday you would get another t-shirt, and then you could get the 3rd shirt on Sunday. So I really did enjoy the Hipster DLC update, and hopefully future DLCs will be more like Hipster, where Rockstar adds a whole bunch of items, maybe not 7 vehicles, but between 3 to 5 new vehicles, some new weapons, a lot of new wardrobe, because people really do love the ability to customize their character, which really does help make your character feel and look as unique as possible. So hopefully down the road with future DLCs, Rockstar will add more themed clothing like that. Like I mentioned a moment ago, like various eras, like the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, perhaps even from the Western period, or various alternative clothing items as well in future updates. And now here we are, number 1 on our list, the best DLC of 2014, in my opinion, is the High Life update, which included several new vehicles: the Zentorno Supercar, the Massacre Sports Car, the Huntley S SUV, the Thrust Motorcycle, the Bullpup Rifle, which is one of my favorite rifles, by the way, and of course, some of my favorite vehicles like the Zentorno and the Massacre. Of course, there are 5 High Life apartments that were added with brand new interiors. The non-contact racing option was added as well to races. 8 new contact missions were added as well as 4 races. Additional story mode vehicles were purchasable, 10 total. New suits were added for male characters. Unfortunately, female characters got the shaft in High Life, but hopefully Rockstar will continue to add more clothing options for everybody in future DLCs down the road. Another new feature that was added to Grand Theft Auto Online via the High Life update was the mental state. Some love the mental state, some not so much. But as with most Grand Theft Auto Online features, Rockstar has continued to try and tweak and improve the mental state system. And the big reason why I like High Life is because it introduced the ability for you to own 2 properties, up to 20 vehicles. Now, until the High Life DLC came out, we only had up to 1 property, which meant only up to 10 vehicles. So we've come a long ways in the ability to go from just 1 property, 10 vehicles, to now 3 properties, which means 3 garages and up to 30 rides. So there you have it, the best DLCs of 2014 according to me. To review: 8th place, LTS. Number 7, Flight School. Number 6, Independence. Number 5, Festive Surprise. Number 4, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Number 3, Business. Number 2, Hipster. And of course, number 1, the High Life DLC. Have a very happy new year, and let me know once again below in the comment section which was your favorite DLC of 2014, and of course, how would you rank them? Either your top 3, your top 5, or go all out with your top 8 DLCs for Grand Theft Auto Online for the past year.